Right. So Judero, how did we all feel about this game? I feel like we were initially going to have like a polarizing kind of vibe between everyone, but I think after everyone played the demo and kind of finished it, I want to say we're all on the same page. How we all feeling?
This is one of those ones where you look at it and you can't really tell just on the surface how special it's going to be. But then you see it's a game made by a team of 2 people, and you're like, okay, well, they have to have a vision to make it this realized. And then you start looking at the art, you start looking at how it's like these action figures all stop motion together, and just the effort alone made me be like, okay, there has to be something here. Let's jump in.
That's
With the most sincerity in my heart, S Fox, this feels like a game like you would watch a YouTube series about. This feels like one of your puppet shows.
honestly, it's right up my alley in terms of everything.
It really is.
Literally everything. Like, did you guys watch the making of video?
Yes, I wanted to comment on
Yeah.
that and say that alone is like, I don't care that it's just a demo. I feel like I have cinematic closure for the entire experience seeing the making of in the credit sequence. It was incredible seeing all of that art. They had all of their little sculptures. They just so we paint the picture here. They showed their entire craft station and every single clay doll and their
They go over the
landscapes and
process
just
of like mixing the two
it's incredible.
clays and then ball joints, and it's ambitious as hell. It's it's just it's beautiful. If there's one way to sum up this game, I would just simply say it's just beautiful. Did you visit the Bandcamp for the soundtrack? There are like 90 tracks, and they're fucking all these like mid 2000s like folk indie songs that would like pass.
Yeah, holy shit. The
Yeah, they
amount
were
the amount of
about
times that I
Yeah.
would just stop and just listen to these songs
Yeah.
singing about like I don't even remember the lyrics now, but it was like the lyrics almost sounded nonsensical, but they still flowed. I don't know if I was missing something in them, but that's kind of a theme in the entire game. Like
Yeah.
it presents itself culturally in a way where it's like this is our heritage, this is our Scottish background. Like we're gonna have all these little nods to our culture and music and everything, but it's also not serious at all. Between the combat, the writing, everything in it feels like, oh yeah, this is here, but don't worry too much about the details. You're here for the ride. It's here for the
Right.
experience and the feelings, and it kind of goes beyond what it's presenting itself at. It's so funny. This game made me laugh constantly just by existing.
Yeah, it was
Especially that
really
song. The song in the town.
I wanted to
I
comment
was
on
listening
that.
to it at first, and then I was like, okay, you explained like the feels and stuff, but the moment it like started talking about how bitches was poor or some shit, I just busted out laughing. It was like
Well,
so
I don't know if
funny.
that's
The
It was so
amount of
good.
angles it comes at you is just like overwhelming.
what was that, Firefly?
And then
Uh,
this lady had
oh
me
my
cracking up
god.
for a day.
But go on, Firefly.
I really loved Mab, like the little pink bunny
Oh, yeah,
floating
the
on
pink
a
Yeah, that thing
cloud.
was cute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that thing cracked me up because I was like, oh, is that I must need like some Scottish folklore lore
I
dumping
like how
before I
it's
play this
Mike.
game. I don't think I'm
That
cultured
thing's
enough
mic
for it.
sounded like worse than everyone else's.
It was so
It
scuffed.
was like-
It was so like immediately like when you start this game, you don't know what kind of tone you're going in for. I thought it was gonna be like they're trying to make something kind of serious, but this pink thing starts talking to you, and its first line is like total nonsense, and is talking like, we've been through so much together, Judero, and Judero's like, yes, we have, and like it's talking so serious about everything, and like it's almost like a lampoon or riffing on traditional storytelling where like everyone takes this grand adventure so seriously. You're just like, you got this pink little bunny adventuring with you, and then it's okay, goodbye, Judero, and then you're off on your own 2 minutes in the game. This thing that says it's been adventuring with you your whole life, it's like, okay, bye. And then
That
That
it's
was
gone.
so sad.
And my favorite thing about that was like it goes away and like 10 seconds later you're walking to the right and there it is again.
Yeah.
Yeah, speeding
It's
out of
so-
nowhere.
and you don't know what to make of it all. It slaps you in the face with absurdity from every single design aspect, and it's so indicative of the designer's mindset. I love everything that was presented in this game. Like, if you look at if you go to video games just for combat or gameplay, it would be whatever. Like, oh well, you're attacking and you're rolling. It doesn't feel that great. But that is just a vehicle to get you to the
You can
next
actually
point, really, and to
cancel.
interact with all these
You can
funny
cancel
things.
the attack into the dash and just do some kind of. There's some tech. It's actually fun.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
very
what I was
silly,
doing.
and like it's not trying to make itself like, okay, here's how you perfect the combat system and make it peer reviewed and approved by the board, and it just is, and it's
I do
very
want to
funny.
touch on the writing was actually like some of the writing actually really hit me in a way where I kind of took some
Mhm.
screenshots. Like here's when Mab kind of says goodbye, and I have the screenshot. Judero says, "There's nothing to be gained from being shy of goodbyes. Ours was a bond most handsome, and we ought not dismiss it." And like it's just so succinct, and it's just so like I don't know, because everything that we were saying, it comes out of nowhere. You have this relationship, but like so much of the writing was actually just like really well done. Like there was a lot of heart and kind of just like
There is no lack of
yeah,
sincerity at all.
exactly. Judero is like this like just he might as well just be a heart because everything like he came across, he was just like, "Oh, I'll help you. I'll take care of you." Like I don't know. It was just so
Yeah,
much sincerity in everything he did.
he's like a man of principle within a world of absurdity.
Exactly. He's the straight man, but everything else is just this
Mhm.
absurd, like,
Even the music is so like I'm sitting there in town trying to figure out what the hell they're singing about, and then like I'm just sitting there like 20 minutes, and I start
uh,
playing my ukulele to it, and I'm just like,
well,
this sounds really good.
the
This is just the
lyrics to that
vibe.
town song, I actually listened to it a lot, and then I listened to it on the Bandcamp. It's a really touching tale
Mhm.
about
Yeah, right. You
she
start to listen to
wants
it.
like
Yeah.
a relationship. I can't remember the exact like details, but she's just saying like I'll have like a dancer, a baker, something, a sailor, and
Mhm.
she's just like she'll take anything because she just wants to be loved. And like all her
Mhm.
sisters, I believe, were just these like beautiful women that got anything, and she's just like, I'll take a dancer, I'll take I'm just like, this is a fucking really good like mid 2000s indie folk. It sounds like something the Delgados would sing. Like it was just so blown away by the amount of effort. Again, if you look at the Bandcamp, there's like 90 tracks, and they all have the
And then what elevates
Oh
it
wow.
is like you start to listen to the lyrics, like you said, and it's like, oh, this starts to tie into the weird thematics of the actual story that they're trying to get across. There is something here. There's like you start getting into that story with the
yeah.
conjoined twin having the child with someone
I
from the
love
town, and
that. That was so weird.
you thought at first it would just like be some joke, like you find their diaries and stuff, and it's all silly, and it's like,
Cause I was like, oh, sorry, I'm gonna let you finish.
oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was so regarding the diaries, I was like, what's the point of having diaries and y'all both are like standing across from each other?
That's
Like,
really funny.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
it was
absurdity of
hilarious.
all of, like everyone is just existing within this world and nothing is out of the ordinary while everything is like in a bizarre dream state. But it's it's very hard to describe how this sums up like a not lack of like seriousness or like attention to the what they're trying to do, but um it's there's some kind of levity to it that I can't really explain while they still respect what they're doing. It's like there's a really good
Yeah,
blend
Everything's
going on.
deliberate.
Judero's like yeah, Judero's like an everyman. Like he's done this for years now. He's very used to the absurdity of the world, but it doesn't make him like snarky or sarcastic about it. He's just like, ah, yeah, this weird twin, like this weird witch stole your baby. Okay, I'm on it. Don't
And
worry, I'll
everyone
rescue
is
it.
like monologuing and has their own things and they're going on and like when they start saying like I didn't let her be wed to the foul again, dude. And like just going on and on with all the stuff. It's like it, it's beautiful. It's a
That's
whole pocket of culture, and it's not trying to be like this is exactly how we are and what we are.
quick
Right.
aside. That's how people feel when they play like their first Dragon Quest like game post DS era. Just bombarded with
Yeah, right.
accents.
People don't like accents. They do not. But going back to those conjoined twins and stuff, another excerpt from their diary was like, what did it say? I have it. If only you could see the Glen as we see it, then you might understand that frustration was our want, and from it an evil born. And it just like, I don't know. I just feel like these passages. There were so many passages I came across that were just like, they really, I don't know. I don't want to say they really make you think, but like they were just so well done. They're so succinct. But
They are so full of feeling. I know what you're saying. It's hard to describe because it's like there's genius hidden between the silliness. Like you look at it, you just think it's silly. There's no value, but there's so much emotion and soul in here. It's crazy. And I think that comes from being the small passion project of these two people.
yeah, it gets back to that keyword being deliberate. I think every single thing you step on, everything you interact with, every single town, every single character, enemy, it's just everything's deliberate. Even in the making of video, the guy talks about how he's like, when he's modeling the clay, he's taking his time to model it, but while he's doing that, he's getting in like a zen state and he's fleshing out like the meaning of this character, like where can it go, what can it do, the whys and the hows. And it's such a artistic piece of passion to like, I wonder how long this took.
That mindset of like indulgence kind of fits into the characters in the game too. Like this picture that Firefly posted, the shopkeeper, the signs are funny, but at the same time, I feel like a guy running a store in a small town like this would just fill up his day doing silly stuff like this. Like it just kind of feels natural while it's still
Yeah.
absurd.
You know, it's funny because I just went and got like barbecue from a place that opened up like just a couple years ago, like very small, like 2-person project, and it's filled up with stuff just like this.
Yeah, you do see a lot of that kitschy kind of stuff in like Main Street kind of cafe shops and little towns and stuff like that. Like we have tons of cafes with very similar signs and things like that just hanging around, and it always tastes good. They always knock it out of the park. But yeah,
Yum yum.
in
pizza.
general, I was pleasantly pleased at everything that went. I wish I had more time to like play the full game and give this game like the time it deserves, because some of those models in that making of video, some of those monsters, like it's like you could almost see them getting better. Like I really want to know how long this game took to make, because like
Yeah.
your modeling skills would just naturally improve the more you do it, especially when you're making an entire game ground up from nowhere.
Right.
Because some of those later character models they were showing, I was like, damn, this is some actually like crazy shit, like Kid Icarus kind of stuff. Like it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, you can tell they're building up to some serious like pagan designs and ideas as well. When you see how they're drawing from folklore and everything, they got a lot to work with.
Yeah, and
I love all the creature design. Like I linked that the spitting haggis, and there's also like I took the pictures of all these like the wee beasties, and it's just I don't know. I love it. I don't
even the Steam reviews.
This is peak creativity.
Like, oh, where was?
I love.
Go on. No, go on.
Sorry. I was gonna say I loved when I was throwing that baby and it did
Oh my
like,
god, it was so
fart
fun. I was
cloud.
trying not to drop it, and then like you throw it, and you learn that it's a fucking bomb that you can spam into enemies. It's so funny.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
I
that
can't
baby
explain
was
why it
cute.
the
tickles me
baby
so
was
much.
cute. The weird little noise it makes and all that, everything around it. I was like, oh, you're gonna let me carry this and throw it? Okay. But here's some like Steam reviews.
But then you start to care
What was
for it
that?
too. Steam reviews were surprising because I did not expect people to be into it the way they were, but everyone seems to be on the same page
Yeah,
as us,
like
kind of.
here's
from
one
what I
from
saw.
Azareth. It says, I felt like I was on acid playing this. Judero is in broken English, and I just wasn't smart or cultured enough to understand what was happening. The style of the game is also very uncanny, almost creepy. Because of these reasons, oh wait, why is it saying I'm refunding the game? However, but it says it's recommended. However, I do recommend this game
What
to
the
people who
heck?
might understand it and are less freaked out by it than I am. Okay, so this guy's like a weird clown kid thing. But here's the one I wanted. Judero is a charming, sometimes disturbing adventure game with a strange, surrealist Scottish folklore setting. I think everything in this game is animated by stop motion, which gives it a very interesting look, and the developer has some really odd-looking clay models that are modified after action figures. Uh, it's a short game, so pretty easy to get through if you can get over it being completely bizarre, but it's also pretty comedic and philosophical, which we kind of hit on those points. I'm sure much of it went over my head, but I still enjoyed it. Like, you just have people saying, hidden gem, Scottish as fuck, bizarre trip. Like everyone seems really, really receptive of the game.
The fact that it has potential to have elements of it go over your head is what makes it a compelling story, I think, because that's what keeps you thinking about it and keeps you engaged. It's
Also,
like there's mysteries to it, so you're like, I gotta try and think about that in my head. This doesn't quite. And when that review said broken English, that's the perfect
Yeah.
phrase for this, I think, because it doesn't really try to waste time defining itself and like clarifying what it is to anyone. It just shows abstractly, here is my graphical presentation. You can figure it out. You translate it. I'm here. Figuring me out isn't my job.
that's right. Actually, that guy's got a really respectable review with that. He's like, listen, it's not for me, but I can tell this is really
Yeah,
good.
that's fair.
But it's
That
not
is
for me.
true. So even
Any reviewer that can say that is
people
great.
that didn't quite enjoy it are like, you know what? There's something real special here. Like someone who can appreciate it. I'm not cultured enough, but someone who can go for it. So I respect it. Respect to that guy.
It's kind of how I felt with it, really. I was like, oh, this combat, like ATI said earlier, like this combat feels janky.
I
I'm
love that
not sure
combat.
if I'm cultured enough in Scottish folklore that like I will get the most out of this game.
Yeah, like if you only go to games to like play the game and conquer it, you will not have a good time. It's just a silly thing, and the game is the vehicle to express emotions and art and history and all these different things. And that's kind of what I go to video games for lately, aside from like the specialty games like Smash or whatever when I want to press buttons fast. This has this very special place in my heart, just as a celebration of culture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's me like why I put it down and go pick up a Scottish folklore history book.
Yeah. I watched the show Outlander recently, and that I would be almost required. I feel like I was better equipped to understand this from watching that and like picking up on their linguistic, uh, just little things that they say and just parts of the history and the Highlands and stuff. And you can really see the respect for the history in this game, and it lines up with other depictions throughout
Yeah,
history.
like it actually.
Really
I
cool.
thought
No, I
you
was gonna
first.
say just the depth, like of where this game could possibly take us, even just in the demo. Like it's the same thing that you were saying, ATI. Like there's that cultural like breadth of it where it's just kind of just fun to like. I don't know about Scottish folklore. Like I don't know a ton about it. I know a little bit maybe here and there, but like being able to interact with these creatures and then like look them up on the side. It's kind of like how SMT is with like looking at the demon kind of biographies where you like learn their actual cultural like historical like you get like extra meaning out of it like that you wouldn't really get.
It's kind of like here's the thing, and if you want to learn more, you can. But like I'm presenting it in its natural state.
Completely natural. I'm sure like they didn't pull any punches with the things that they because this seems just like a game that's just purely like it's wearing their whole culture on their sleeve. Like these people.
Yeah, this is like a game that grew up in the wilderness and like it did not learn etiquette or manners from like the game society, and then it was found like a
Pretty
Tarzan.
much.
It's a weird ass thing that's entirely its own rules.
And it's much better for that.
I
Oh,
felt
go on. Sorry.
I felt like this game reminded me a lot of Hades in the same context as like the The cultural like mythology and history and stuff.
Even the
Um,
gameplay bones of it felt like it was Hades inspired. So maybe like these guys played Hades and were like, let's do our own version. Let's just like you can attack and dodge and stuff. There's the video game.
right.
Now let's focus on the stuff that we care about. Okay.
Right? This
I was
this was a game
expecting
made by
it.
writers.
Yeah, I was expecting. I didn't even know you could get upgrades. I was just
Yeah.
about to say.
It-
I didn't even like. I expected it to be like Hades, but I didn't even know you could get an upgrade. I straight up just played with the enemies and had the normal attack the whole time. Like,
I feel like
damn.
it doesn't pressure you to get any. All of this is just like bonus, silly, extra stuff. The tornado attack was very helpful. It helped me clear out the mobs of like what was it, spiders or something in the woods. That
Yeah,
was
the
nice.
spiders and then the spitters would
The
group
little
up.
wee beasties, yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
beasties.
But the animation to the tornado attack, just seeing it the first time, I was laughing for like 2 minutes straight. It's just something about this game and its jankiness. It hits me. It's so funny
It's
and sincere. It gets me.
it's really funny that we're talking about like the combat upgrades. 'Cause I'm looking at the update log, and like just last month they added new items in the shop for enabling critical damage, elemental damage, more knockback on hits, absorb hits, and
Yeah,
more. So like they're like, oh, we have to do a gameplay pass after
Yeah,
releasing
people
this like
needed
a
their
year
there's a
ago.
upgrades.
full
Hold
ass
on.
That's
game.
cool.
Was that Firefly?
I just find it funny that this game existed for like a year and a half. They went, oh yeah, let's put critical hits in.
We all finished it,
Yeah,
right?
I believe so.
Finish the demo.
yeah. I beat the demo.
Yeah,
I
but
wanted to get the full game, but I didn't know that we would have had like extra time.
Yeah, I just mean
Sick.
demo, just for the ending
I
stinger
didn't
of
do
like.
any of
Yeah.
the mini games.
There's
Mm.
mini
Mini
games.
games?
I saw one of them.
Right.
I
Yes,
think so.
I took a
Oh
picture
shit.
of one. I
Oh,
found
what
it.
the?
I found something on the map and I warped and suddenly I was in the like most bizarre Pac-Man clone.
Oh,
It made the funniest
What?
sounds. You had to eat the whole app. It was the funniest thing I've
huh.
ever seen. It was
I found
just
like
so.
one hidden thing, but it was just a chest with a bestiary card in it. Where the hell was this at?
There's a lot. I don't even remember.
On the Bandcamp, there is actually
Fuck me.
multiple minigame soundtrack things that I saw. I just didn't think that would be in the demo. That's actually pretty cool. And that was pretty thorough. I don't even know how I missed it.
Yeah, I
Right.
was through it too. I was rubbing against like every wall. I'm surprised I missed this.
I think
That's
this one
impressive.
specifically, there was like a little fairy ring, and you had to like bring over a possessed enemy to it, and then it summoned
Oh.
you to it. There was
That's
something like
another
that, I think.
mechanic.
Oh, I
Oh,
saw the
those
fairy
were
ring, but I didn't know what to
delicious to
do
do.
with it. I thought it was just a decoration.
Mm.
Oh, you're
I
talking
was
about
just
with the
futzing
head
around.
and the pentagram?
Pentagram? Hmm?
Yeah, there was a pentagram on it, then it was a circle of salt or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. Yep.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, wow. Damn. Okay.
But like most games would try to do something silly like this, and it would be like, okay, you're trying a little too hard. But the entire game is like this, so it just feels like another degree of itself, and it's very funny. The whole theme of like these giant
Yeah.
apples is so absurd, but they're just everywhere in the world. It's okay. Don't worry about it. These weird things eat them. That's all you need to know.
Do you think it helps like we don't know much of anything about Scottish folklore and we're more amiable to absurdity like this for this?
I think so, because that kind of lets our own creativity fill in gaps instead of having like, no, your imagination is wrong and it's actually like this. I'm sure we could learn the actual meaning behind a lot of this, but I like having that little stopgap of information where we don't quite know.
I'm trying to
It
think if I'd
kind
be as fair to a Christian game that did something like this. Sorry, go on, Firefly.
it kind of reminded me of like James and the Giant Peach with the big
Mhm.
Yeah,
apple
I could see.
and like possessing. I really like possessing the monsters and just eating the apple at the start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Just
that's
the
what
sound effect.
now that you mention that, I think that vibe of like James and the Giant Peach and that kind of animation is what really draws me to this, or what drew me to the game initially. It's just so beautiful to look at. This style is so dreamlike. I mean, I'm gonna keep repeating myself and saying it, but it's really all I can say when I keep looking at these pictures.
No, I think that's the heart of the
yeah.
game.
Taha and Jack.
Like the heart of the game is so
Taha
much
and Jack.
just beauty.
Taha and
I
Jack,
have
if you're
a
watching
single
this somehow,
picture.
please fix the video audio not syncing with the volume sliders. Please. I don't like my ears getting blown out by monster cutscenes. Thank you.
Oh yeah, some of those were really silly. I forgot about that.
It's just they were loud, and I turned down the volume in game. They were still loud.
It almost feels intentional. I don't know.
No, I think it's just it plays on a different process
I
than
think
what the volume
sound was
slabs
a
are attached to.
little bit of their weaker point in terms of like things they wanted to do. Like I said, some of the microphones were all over the place in terms of like.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell if it was intentional.
Yeah, I don't know if that's intentional or not.
I really can't tell what parts of it are taking the piss.
Yeah, it's hard to say because, again, I would love to know how long this took. Because if this was like a 10-year passion project, that just puts so much more things into context. Like the amount of stuff you learn over the course of years, it makes me really want to see what like the later parts of the game is. Because there was that whole possession mechanic too. Like I could only imagine what they do with it.
Yeah, I want to see what they do with that. Like you have the different, you got the spitter little guys, and you had to spit onto the targets while you're going through these little mazes and stuff. And I could see them coming up with nice little puzzles, and the ability to possess any smaller enemy. It really gives them a lot of freedom to work with. So I'd be interested to see what kind of wee beasties they come up with.
Yeah, like all the puzzles and all the environments. Like who knows what surreal ass like places they take you the more further you get into the game.
I just can't believe the soundtrack was by the same two people too. They made all the music. They made the entire game. They're just incredibly talented people. I'm looking at the soundtrack page right now, and Tala and Jack Coe.
The chicken lady sings a ditty.
You mentioned the Bandcamp. I'm gonna have to pick that up.
Did anybody pick up the chickens and throw them?
I did.
Oh my god, the sounds they made were so funny.
It was.
I didn't pick up the chickens, but I like the little groundhogs. They were cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see those.
They were like really tiny brown things. They were like making little squeak noises. There was like you had to walk through them at one point. They were so cute.
And whenever they rolled away from you, they made like almost humanish noise. It's very cute.
This is what Mab looks like to me.
Uh-oh.
I could not see this the first time I saw Mab. I was like, oh my god, this is so cute. Oh wait, where I put it? Oh, I didn't save it.
Yeah, it makes me.
Oh, and adding on to Mike Tavis's picture, I just want to post this before I forget. Another follow-up from that mini game screen.
Oh my god. Shoes off in the house, please.
Hey, it's true.
When it said it gave me rhubarb crumble, it was speaking to me because I made a rhubarb crumble like 2 weeks ago.
Oh shit!
And I'm like,
that was a real
so
crumble cookie.
This is how it crumbles.
Flab.
I see now.
F Flab. The little Sakurai post with Wario.
This was what Mab reminded me of. If I can actually like get it in here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't think that.
Yeah, I can see that. Because it's in
I
the little.
can see
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and
That was like the first thing.
it makes me wonder if that like summoning salt ritual thing in the forest with the mini game. Like, I wonder what that actually, if that correlates to actual Scottish lore, because we know about like the salt circle, basic magic practices, but like I want, they always have these weird things where it's like, in the forest under a tree, make this pentagram, spread the salt.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like a little fairy circle, and like if you disrupt the fairy circles in folklore, then they like.
Yeah, well, they do
trap
take you
in
to
them,
a
I think.
potential other place where the fairy realm is, where missing time and stuff like that people link to. Like, maybe that is the fairy realm that you're in. Maybe apples have this deep connection in Scottish folklore.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of apple meaning in here, right? Otherwise, it's just an item that's scanned in. And if that's the case, it's very funny.
Yeah, again,
and
it doesn't need to have this crazy deeper meaning or whatever, but
it makes you think, like, what if it does? And then it like kind of inspires you to look on your own and be like, I want to learn about some Scottish history now. Maybe look up some folklore, look up some actual history, and
Yeah, it's
maybe
me.
significance of stuff.
I love that about video games. Final Fantasy did that for me first, but it wasn't until like the outside world mythology stuff started to like make me question. I was like, is Final Fantasy based off of
Mhm.
this? Like it was
Mhm.
really cool going through like Wikipedia and then like researching the summons and all that
Just like going
stuff.
to history class in middle school and being like, Quetzalcoatl's
Yeah.
real? Whoa.
Right, right.
I
Because
know
you're
that
just like,
word.
Yeah, that was a fun boss too. Or even with the ball joints and stuff with the character.
I love that character. Their entire lore is what opened the game up to me and was like, okay, they're not fooling around. Everything's connected and actually it has a meaning. It's not just nonsense, non
Yeah, and
sequiturs.
again, it makes me wonder if there's an actual like creature like that, or something you succumb to. Because I think we watched that one episode of Tales from the Dark Side, the Cuddy Black Sow or whatever. Like, and I think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
Scottish because you had the bagpipes in the back. And again, it was all like the Scottish lore for like stuff like that. Like you become these weird creatures when you do certain things under certain situations.
Mhm. It's always like some kind of societal commentary like that. Like maybe they have two heads because there's like they were the outcasts of the village, and one head of them is the ugly one that everyone sees. The other one is like the has the nice feelings inside, but the ugly one is the violent one. Speaking of Final Fantasy again, it reminds me of the Yin Yang monster in the
Yeah,
Shinra basement with the two heads. I wonder if it's based on the
oh,
same
Yeah.
design.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something in it with that monster being called yin yang and representing obviously the balance of yin and yang and good and evil, et cetera, et
this
cetera. Maybe
this
that's
could be the
something that's going on
Scottish
with this
yin
creature
yang.
too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Final Fantasy really did give me like a leg up in school and like vocabulary and like all that stuff. Like, it definitely got me into the basics of mythology and stuff. But again, so much of that is based on either like Japanese. You do get hints of other world stuff, but like
Mm.
it kind of shows me how much of the gap I have in like Irish and Scottish kind of folklore, because there's so
We spend so much time on like Greek
exactly
lore
exactly
and everything like that. Like,
we
that's all the
all are taught
focus.
Egyptian stuff for some reason in school in like fourth, fifth grade, but like a lot of this stuff kind of we might get one or two things by proxy in culture, but like overall, it's a massive blind spot, and it just makes me want to like binge YouTube like folklore stuff instead of reading about like the Kentucky people and all the weird shit they hear and
Yeah.
see.
Like not even on the folklore side of it, just history side. The show Outlander, like it is a bit extravagant with like the violence and everything, but it taught me and showed me a lot of stuff that I just wasn't aware about, and like the culture of the Highlands and how they lived, and like how the pressure of the British coming changed everything. And there's just a lot of angles to it that you can dig into.
I'm poking my nose in this, and all I can find out is that like Judero was developed during the
Okay.
pandemic, and the
That
guy
makes
said he
sense.
got really grumpy about it. But he had
There's
three
a lot of
projects before
emotions
this
poured into
too.
this. You can tell there's frustration in some of the design.
Yeah, definitely. But now I'm curious about his other project that he started a Kickstarter for earlier this year called Mashima.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Mashina.
want to send a link?
So is this game actually fully finished? Like, is Judero a 1.0 release?
Yeah, it's apparently on 1.008 now. So like
Okay, cool.
everything in it is pretty much done. So they don't seem to like to be in early access, it looks like.
That's how
Mhm.
games should be. Give me a
God,
demo and then release the game.
I feel like if a game takes too long to make, too, it kind of would lose its initial spirit and spark. Maybe I'm wrong, but you kind of need to ride that initial momentum and like what made me inspired to make this in the first place. If it is a passion project like this on
Just
a
look
small
at
scale.
multiverses to confirm your
I
your idea.
Oh no,
don't
I'm
want to be
getting that
that.
multiverses discourse. Not again.
Not going through a
The-
re-release. No
the-
way, not me.
But yeah, I'm glad we all could come to an agreement with this one and see its beauty. Because I do feel like there are some people. I don't know how Mike felt, but it sounded like he didn't give a shit about the game.
Yeah, I wanted to address
I
that because
thought
that's
he
kind
was
of the point I
trolling.
was making, where it depends on what you look for in games, where it's very hard to recommend games. It's hard to say what's good, what's bad, because there's so many degrees of what do you value and look for in a game. Mike is someone who does compete and like needs the, I think, structure of mechanics, and this doesn't really have the like solid
Let me
mechanical
write up a
foundation
guide.
to really
I'll get all
use
this
that kind
tech
of gaming.
unlocked because there was dash attack. The dash attack
Yeah,
canceling was fun.
once you get the
It
cancels
felt like I was playing guns.
and doing the spin attack was great. I had a fun time spinning around with that and laughing at him.
I didn't for enough coins to unlock anything. I just did everything with the basic attack and dash cancels.
And there was one screen specifically, I think that was good for farming coins with a bunch of the wee little beasties.
I think it
Also,
was
I
like
think Saint posted a picture of that machina. That looks really cute.
I think it's had 4-way fork things. There's enemies that spawn right next to water and just jumping in and die. These are my recommendations, by the way. I'm just linking them because I think they're cool and we should look at them later.
Yeah.
Because they're
No,
from the
I was
same
curious
guys.
about Machina, so thank you for that link because I would like to actually like look more into these people as creators because I kind of want to buy that album.
Is that what Saint posted?
Dujana just looks like insanity. I'm not even sure what to think of this game.
Oh, it's another stop motion game.
These look really good.
Mm.
I can see a lot of the same absurdity.
What was
Bleeding out
that
of this.
RPG? There's two of them. It's like Hylax or something. They're very absurd like this
Hylix.
as well. Hylax, that's the one. That's what it reminded me of. I couldn't think of it until now. This seems like a whole genre of like I forget the guy's name who makes the music videos for Tool with the stop motion clay. He's very prolific. It reminds me of his style a lot.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, Hylix. I've seen somebody play this. This game looks fucking dope.
Yeah, the sequel is supposed to be even more polished, and I've been looking at that for a while.
I
It should
forgot
be
all
short
about
little videos.
this. Isn't it like Earthbound kinda?
Yeah, it's that kind of thing
Like
where it's
Moon.
like RPG rap and absurdism. Yeah.
But it also looks like Metaphor Refantasio.
I
I
hope not.
pass. Strong pass.
Don't say that.
I just got that game.
Oh,
The
oh,
moon
okay.
one.
All right.
Oh
That
yeah, Moon
works.
seems really fun. I saw it's on
Yeah,
my
Moon has
list.
been on my list for a long time, but I don't know. You just kind of have to be in the right mood for it too. But
Yeah, sometimes these games just call to you at the right time. That's what it is.
Yeah, Judero definitely didn't hit me at the exact right time. Being hectically stressed in at work as it is, I
Mm.
can't just sit there and unwind with this and absorb all the culture like I want to. But I can tell, much like that guy who reviewed it, this is really good. And I
Mm.
really need to sit down and also go to a Barnes and Noble and find a Scottish folklore book.
I'm kind of glad that we had this postponed because it gave me time to think about it. And I was also kind of busy during the week. So I was like, okay, I have to fit this all in on, like, I forget if it was Friday or Saturday, but then like the entire day I just left the game on. So like its music was playing while I was walking around. I would leave it paused. I would come back to it. And it was just like, that was my energy for the day. And I've been thinking about it since then. And it's given me a very unique feeling. And I think it's very special just for that. The feeling that art gives you and that you take away from it and then that you carry with you, that's the value of what we're interacting with this stuff
yeah,
for,
no, that's
I
its
think.
power. Art. If art didn't make you feel anything at all, then what would it be? You know, like
There's just so much behind these designs. Like you can look at these disgusting little townspeople and like there's so much more than just them existing as okay, we need a character to talk to give you a quest. It's like there's a reason they look like this. This person's hand sculpted them in a certain way. There's very personal intention to this, and
Speaking of
it's
intention,
yeah.
if you're finished,
Yeah, go ahead.
speaking of intention, What's up with it, like, switching to a colored pencil style for some interiors?
Yeah, was that unfinished or was that
I don't think it's unfinished. They look very much like done products. It's just I'm very curious what the artist intent is
Well,
for
Mhm.
some of the more social ones being colored pencil versus like the shop being still full
in
models.
the
Yeah, and
no, I
there's
was gonna say in the making of video,
go
they
ahead.
said that everything is like created, like everything you can touch or create. Like their idea of the graphics and design was, we want you to know where these backgrounds and things came from, because when we their idea was, when we play games, we don't know how these graphics came about because we don't know the process or this or that.
Mm.
So they incorporated tons of art styles in, just to like create a feeling, like we were saying. Like again, this game is just, it truly is. It's a shame because it probably won't ever get on those lists, but like as an art, as a game, like games that could be considered art, like you have like Silent Hill 2 and
One of the like Pentiment is up there for me, and this is like a Pentiment style game to me, where it's totally that culture. It doesn't bow down and try to like whitewash itself. It's just beautiful. Like that picture that Zero just posted now was the example I was going to post actually. The muted watercolors. It's the colors are very like
and
cool,
I
dreamlike,
can't remember what was that
soft.
NPC going through. Like, could we like correlate these colors?
Oh, I have the dialogue open right now. She says, "If only I could view the world from far above the forest and understand that this is an interior view."
Interesting.
And the softness of the watercolor and everything just adds to it, gives you that like this is inside this person's mind for this split second before they have to return to the world and out there with all the colors bursting and all the weird little things. But in here, there's a little bit of peace and a little bit of subdued, not quite chaotic part of the world. It's a little safe haven in here. It gave me that
But even
feeling.
just
I was gonna
I
say it's giving save room.
but even just
Mm,
that one piece of dialogue, like I don't want to like overinflate the game for what it does, but like that is just a beautiful piece of writing. Like you can meditate
yeah,
on
and
that.
you see her portrait looking
Hmm.
away too. The portrait looking away, saying that it's like you have so much. This is poetry. This is the uh, sum of so much feeling right here. This is someone's soul. This could be a song. This could be a poem. This could be something that people obsess over. Just this one frame. It's it's incredible what we kind of like gloss over in video games because we're so quick to be like, okay, we need to beat the level. We need to get to
Hmm.
the next part instead of just chilling in the room and let yourself absorb it, let it soak in, like let the artist's intent kind of like take over you. Don't rush to the finish because it's not one of those.
Yeah, like you could read that passage and like legit meditate on it for a good while and just take it. I'm sure there's some beautiful ethereal like music with lyrics too behind it, or some kind of ambience. Like there's just so much to take in, and that goes back to like what I was saying earlier. Everything in this game is just deliberate. Like there,
Mhm.
and when you're making art, to have like almost every single thing that you do be deliberate is almost like a working out. Like every piece of being
Yeah.
deliberate is like a dumbbell rep. Like you're
It connects another synapse in your brain to another one, and you're like, "Ooh, I get it. There's a connection. This reminds me of this." Like what you said to the song, that line did remind me of a song. There's a the line is, uh, "I chased that pretty little thing all the way up the mountain just to see what I could see, what I could see." And it's like that. It just gets you thinking of other things that you've encountered in your life, with other perspectives. It's
yeah.
very
Like I
effective.
said, that town song, I would listen to that for like 20 minutes, and I was just like, I love these songs. I love the lyrical content of it. Just this woman longing for love when everyone around her has it, and she'll take anything, and she's probably like one of the
Mhm.
best people ever that you would want to be in love with. But it just, I don't know. I think it was just beautiful lyricism, especially
Mhm.
as a
It really
first
was.
town entrance. because you're still taking everything in, so it gives you time to really like listen to it as you're like talking to townspeople or wandering around that little area. It's just beautiful.
At first, it was like such an assault on the senses because you have to be like, what is this to every single thing that is presenting you with? There's so many layers of like the audio is going crazy at me, like the visuals are yelling at me. This lady has like a melting face, but then you kind of take it in and it's like, okay, there's something tragic here underneath it all, and it really makes you feel.
Yeah, and that first 4 minutes of the game, I'm gonna lie, I was like, oh, here we go. Like,
yeah, I was like, it's gonna try to be silly. Here's the mascot, a silly pink
yeah,
creature.
I was like, oh, look at me running, and then you get into that town, and that music starts playing, and you're just like,
That was it.
All right, you got me.
I died on the first fight because I didn't know that the clicker or that the mouse, the pointer was where Judero would aim. So I'm literally holding left and right, and I'm like, why aren't you attacking the fucking enemy? It was so funny.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got like upset or angry at any of it, like behaving weird
Oh, I
either. It
wasn't
was just
upset,
funny.
but
Yeah.
I did so.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this is very janky feeling,
It's
but it's
beauty.
okay.
It's beautiful jank. It's like melee jank. That's how I see it. It's
Exactly.
not like annoying jank.
It's very much like two people made this game, and it's not the point to have combat.
Just
It was
wait till the
definitely
pick opens up.
afterthought.
Once we figure out L canceling, we're gonna go crazy.
Someone
Yeah, true.
mentioned that it does get a little bit harder, and of course they fucking likened it to Dark Souls, but
Of course,
of
course.
the roll.
really,
But again, that's just the DNA that's under there.
That's where we're
that's
at.
like your game is a
It's
Mario,
just,
like
yeah.
if you jump.
You know, it's just how it is nowadays. It's people's first introduction to action games now.
And
Action
straight up,
adventure.
you
There's not Zelda
press your
anymore.
attack, you roll, and you have a magic
what a
spell. Like,
shame.
and then
Yeah,
you
the
get some other
iframes
shit.
from the roll was like that sealed the deal for them, and they were like, once you get used to the timing of rolling past stuff with the iframes, kind of like Dark Souls, you can really get into it. And I'm like,
It's hard. I know we're dogging on them, but it's hard. Like, you know, if you're trying to describe it to as many people as possible, what else do you really pick but the most popular
The core
thing
of
right
it is
now?
there. Like if he ran to the right and jumped over pits, I'd say it's a Mario.
Godframe's
Like,
picking up items in Resident Evil. That's what I'd go. No, I just
Yeah, I felt like it was like the opposite of Kirby. Instead of inhaling the enemies, he just gave them like his soul so he could use them.
He did say
Oh my God.
that whole mechanic is inspired by the Kirby series.
I never
Oh,
saw that
okay.
enemy.
So it really is Kirby.
Oh, the Brolich had that was fun when you. Yeah, I remember fighting that.
I liked collecting like the little bestiary entries that you can
Yes.
find in houses. Because
I didn't
wanted to
see
learn
this
more
actual
about the
book though.
monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually access the bestiary. I think I picked stuff up, but I don't think I like looked at anything like that. That's actually pretty cool.
Made to get you back to the first town that's in one of the buildings.
Look at this little guy. Like, what is this? Why is he like this?
Also, to my surprise, this actually did get reviewed by like major outlets favorably. Like it did get a little coverage. I'm really shocked by this. I figured it was just going to go under everyone's radar.
It came out at a bad
Brolichad.
time. September 2024, we were getting
Yeah, 2024 is
bangers
a rough
after
year.
bangers after bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Metaphor came out
All
like
right.
around that
Let Metaphor-
time, and then Sonic.
It only sold
God
2 million
game.
copies. I just
Hey, for an RPG, that's pretty good.
fair.
But this is funny because it says how they can cook it too. At the bottom.
That's what's really fun about it. Like this is clearly like
Mashed
a lived-in world,
taties.
and also like they're all
Mercedes.
poverty.
God, they actually eat the people with human face or the caterpillars with human faces.
They've had, I'd say they cut that part off, but we saw them just grow another face
Yeah, right.
anyway.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
They're just them describing them as vile little things, and they're just like these things with human faces. Maybe they're trying to be friends with people, but we're like, oh, disgusting. We got to cook you up with some
Right?
turnips.
Maybe they're the humans.
It's like-
and every weird clayman monster thing that we talk to in town is the vile creature. Like,
Oh no, don't tell me it's another humanity's the real evil story.
All a matter of perspective. Judero wanders on
Right.
regardless.
Powerful centrist Judero.
He's so strong.
I wonder what action figure they used for his base. That's what I wanted to know
I
the
would not
entire
be
time.
surprised if it was a wrestling figure. And they kind of,
Or like a He-Man
yeah.
thing. Or
Because you got to figure Scottish. They started, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, give or take. Or he had an old ass He-Man figure from when he was a kid.
yeah. Like maybe he like ripped the head off of something and like put his own custom head on it. And I don't know. I want to see more of the creation of all of this. It makes me think like this is the dream kind of game that I would make if I was like an inspired creative who could actually follow through with a project on this scale. It's beautiful. You can make it entirely with your own hands. You don't need to rely on like being a computer graphic designer. It's just its own style, and I can't get over
Yeah,
this.
this does feel like, I think as I was playing it, I was like, this is something I would want to make because I'd be able to get over my shortcoming. Like, I always feel like my creative output is always overcoming my shortcomings in a creative way, whether it was with music or writing, structure, or anything. So I feel like a game like this, I don't know computer graphics or like design, 3D modeling. Honestly, that stuff kind of makes me want to not think about design at all. But if I could,
Exactly. And
no, go on.
this game makes it feel like that design isn't as important as the vision,
Mhm.
like you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because you could just roll up some
Yeah, I
clay
still got some
I mean,
and do
merch.
your thing.
I mean, the thing is, we've seen it time and time again. Like, Undertale's not a technical game.
Mhm.
I need
It's
to
just
play
got
that.
really good characters and music and writing.
Mhm.
That's all it needed. And look, it fucking got Toby Fox to Japan to play Smash Bros. With Sakurai.
He's corrupt now.
Yeah, that ending.
All you gotta do is just make it a compelling story,
That is the
really,
thing.
and just make the gameplay fun, but not like super sweaty hyper fixation 20 mechanics combat. Just
Yeah.
something
Have
basic and
heart,
fun.
connect
That's
with
all you need.
people, and then, basic gameplay will always carry you. That's the reason why people have been playing games for 40 years. Like,
Yeah, it's like this is the exact kind of thing I kind of had in my mind when I was making that castle for Halloween and I made the little side duck walking
okay.
up to it and stuff. It's that same kind of like you have these ideas in your head and then it's easier to just sculpt something with your hands than to spend all this time on the technical language and programming and just we can
This is
still make
why
things with our hands and it's very beautiful.
I suck at the creative part because I just like the technical part of it more.
Well, we need all kinds to make the world spin.
That's true, but I do wish I had more creativity in me, but I feel creatively bankrupt at this point. So a game like this was like, oh, so this is what it's going to take to like make something with heart in it.
Nah, it all comes out in our own
I
unique
think it's an
ways.
umbrella too. Like,
Mhm.
if you put all your skill points into being technical, you're gonna learn ways to be creative in the technical sense. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
That's your medium.
that's your canvas at that point. And look at John Romero, him and Carmack. The shit that they talk about when they were creating Doom is just crazy. Like, it was just all, one was a technical monster, Carmack, and the other was like Romero was pure heart. Like, yeah, he had the early programming stuff but he was like, he was the vision guy. He's like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how, so it's just like,
Mm.
whatever canvas you choose, you'll always find a way around, and you can have those aha moments where you're like, oh, I could just do this, and then I can make that,
Right?
and that's just the beauty of creativity. We all have our own kind of way to approach things and see things. I always say at work,
Mm.
if you put two people next to a plant, one is just your average consumer guy who doesn't know anything about plants, and then you have like a botanist next to him, you're going to get hours worth of different conversations between the two. They're going to both see and notice
Mhm.
two very, very different things. So it's just like, it's just
Right.
how we see it, and it doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
That's a great way to frame it. That's why it's so hard to be objective, because there is so much subjectivity, and we need to be conscious of that and not really make blanket statements. Like the botanist could talk in layman's terms to the other guy, but the other guy could also explain his viewpoint. Maybe there's value to be gained from both of them, and it's just a whole tapestry of perspective is everything, and it's very cool when you can see someone be unfiltered and give theirs and kind of like let you into their world.
Yeah.
I feel bad I don't remember what that NPC said in that room, Firefly, 'cause I really liked how that room was set up. I really like the art in that
It's
one.
cozy.
And that
Yeah,
screen
that
is
glow
Oh
is
bright.
yeah,
so
me
cool.
too. But I'm not sure what he said.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember either. It definitely
that
like
and
I was definitely getting like sensory overload from all the absurdity at the time.
Yeah.
I think that's
Right.
kind of valid too if we don't necessarily absorb everything on like the script level. Like I don't remember a lot of the lines, but I know they affected me. It's part of the whole experience. And maybe if I had more time, I would be able to remember the lines, but there's just so much happening all at once.
Yeah, I was like, I
Visually,
set the game
auditory.
down after going into that exact building and went, oh, hold on, I need to be like in a more patient mindset for this game.
I want to talk about a specific plot point, since Firefly posted this picture of the ending lady here with the
Oh yeah.
lady in the circle. We were collecting 3 items. Does anyone remember what they were? It was the knife, the rope, and the candle, correct?
I
I don't remember.
believe you're right.
I don't remember what I was exploring for, honestly. I just remember I had to
Yeah.
open a path.
Like again,
This-
it's very absurd and bizarre in the sense where like I couldn't tell if it was me struggling to keep up and like was just like lacking knowledge, or if that's the intended experience or what. But I wanted to know if any of you had any insight on the items that you delivered to this girl, or anything on the ending and how it just how it ended.
I don't remember that we actually collected anything and brought to her. I thought we were just like
Yeah, I thought
clearing
we
the
just
path for
Yeah,
the
followed
me too.
villagers,
her.
Oh,
I didn't
and then we
collect
just
anything either.
end up and seeing this witch lady, who I think was like maybe
it might have
responsible
been in one
for.
of the diaries that talked about each of the items. It was
It
saying
might have
like
been.
the knife. It was explaining the significance between each of the items and how they're used in ceremony, and that felt like the real world analog. It was telling you how like the candle burns away, and like the knife, something for sacrifice for the maiden, and blah blah blah. It was like talking in folklore terms of what these objects would be used for in like pagan ceremonies, and then at the end you see her doing all of this. So I don't know if she was like cutting a baby out of herself, or what we're
Yeah,
heading
maybe it was
towards
just
here.
setting up for like she turns into this weird grotesque monster thing that you have to take on. I don't know.
That looks like she might be skinning some kind of animal. It looks like she's grabbing it by a
A
tail,
rabbit.
like
I
a
thought she was
squirrel or a cat or
like a
something.
witch, because
Yeah, I
the
Yeah, I
couldn't
think
tell.
cauldron is
so.
in the back.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But there's heavy pagan things everywhere in this game, so I'm interested in where it goes with it and to what extent, because it seemed to be putting a lot of symbology on each of the items that she was using in the ritual, and when you find her, that's like the big shocker. So
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I vaguely remember that book. I remember the knife lines, but that's it. But
I wish I took a
at that
picture of these.
at that point, I was like, oh, is this like a adventure game where I gotta go parse through all the absurdity these NPCs are
Mhm.
saying to figure out where to go, or do I just have to wander and stumble into dead ends?
Yeah, that was around the point where I started to be like, I'm not gonna try to like do everything and like cover all my ground to 100%. I just want to go, and like if I miss something, sure, but I want this game to just take me wherever it will. So I just ended up where I did. I ended up in the bonus mini game playing Pac-Man. Had a great old time.
I do feel like once the cutscene after the witch happens and they showed the credits, I was very, very sad that the game was over because I feel like at that point, like I was already in it, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like,
I
oh,
felt
I
so
should go buy this,
invested.
but then I bought the
Yeah.
Rido remaster instead.
Oh, the Rido remaster is
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, it came out
Yeah.
yesterday. I have to go play it
Are
still.
Sweet.
you gonna stream it?
I might.
Okay.
I've never played Rido, so I don't know what I'd be doing exactly. It'd be blind.
Me
But more
neither, but
related,
I
That's the
like the
best way.
character design.
Yeah, me
Think
too.
think
Rhino's
it's
always
dope.
stuck out to me. But
Mm.
back on the topic, I'll save that for later. I'm going to pin in that because discussing Rhino would be
It
fun.
would be.
That's the dad
when I
of the
saw,
boy that's in 5, right? Sorry.
I
yeah,
think they're
I
just
think so.
Okay,
connected
okay.
bloodline wise or something like that. I don't know.
It's
When
an
I saw that,
SMT game, right?
Yes, Lemon. Yes.
No, I mean like
It's under the umbrella.
it's
I don't
not.
know how
You
it's
didn't know that like
It's not a
it's
full
not.
blood SMT game. It's still like
It's
its
in the
own
umbrella
spin-off series.
of you're gonna have your demon
It's
designs,
umbrella though. Yeah.
so it's turn based.
action.
No,
Okay.
it's action. That's why I said it's not
Oh.
SMT entirely.
Yeah, and
But
you can
yeah,
have
ATI,
your little
like,
demons are like ability boosters in the field, so like you can bring along like I don't know your pixie with you, and then she'll heal you in the fight or something. What were you saying, Zero? Sorry.
I was gonna say that when I found that shrine that was for the mini game, and I saw that book that mentioned the knife, I thought it was just like environmental storytelling of like, oh,
Mhm.
there's a witch around here.
Yeah, it's so
somewhere.
hard to tell.
I didn't think it was
Like,
actually like a mini game thing, so I didn't think to interact with it any more than just reading the text and leaving.
it
I'm
kind of
actually
seems like
surprised you could do that.
everything kind of has a meaning, but also it doesn't matter. It's very weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just maybe not think to try and do something with it, like throw an enemy into it to go into Pac-Man land.
But it's
I was
like,
like,
oh,
oh, it's world building. Okay.
teaching me about like symbology and stuff.
And
Okay.
it's that classic game design too,
was like,
where
oh.
it's just like simple but effective. Got to think a little outside the box. Very Zelda-esque in certain areas, and I wish I saw more of that possession. I really do wonder where this game kind of goes.
I'm probably gonna pick
I'll
it up
get
at
it
some
on
point.
sale.
Maybe I'll stream it.
I'll
I
definitely
don't
get it
know.
on sale.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it on sale for sure.
And I do want to buy the soundtrack just to kind of be like, that's a lot of effort you guys put into this.
Yeah.
Give me in a vinyl. I'll buy the
Yeah.
vinyl. The Judero 17 fucking disc set.
Let me buy some of these original like clay figures.
That would be
Auction them
cool
off.
too.
Let me get some of these. I want these gross villagers.
I really can't wait to see Machina now.
So overall, I think we've sung enough of its praises in general. I think we all just absolutely found it charming, beautiful, whimsical. Just I really don't have anything terrible or bad to say about it. Like I think we had a nice winner in terms of just everyone got something out of it too, which was cool.
Yeah, it had a little something for everyone, I think.
Except Mike.
But I can also see that, like you were saying, with the two different perspectives on the planet. I keep thinking about that, but it's both perspectives are still valid. It's just a matter of what you want to get out of games.
Yeah, to be fair, I almost got repelled for similar reasons. I was like, oh, this feels
Mhm.
not good. I'd rather just go play Zelda. But I was like, there's a lot here though. And I don't know enough about Scottish folklore. I think I'm too uncultured for this game. But then I stuck with it. I was like, oh, okay. I see
But
now.
that's the beauty of it. We all are uncultured on it, but through the storytelling and the art, we all learned a little bit, whether we know it or not. There was something gained. And again, that's the art experience. If you ever go to an art museum, you're not going to be an expert on 90% of the artists. You're not going to be an expert on the time period it was made or the culture, but just sitting there and meditating on it with someone or by yourself, at the end of the experience, you get that, personal view of what you get out of it. And
Yeah. At the end of the day, it was something new. It was not expected, and it made me laugh a lot because it was so unexpected. And when I engage with something that wants to present itself as art like this, you want to be surprised. And I think that it handled that in a lot of ways where like it's just not conventional. It's very individualized, and it just made me laugh a lot because it was so unique. It was like your brain has to process it, so all you can do is laugh.
This meme is like how I feel about trying to engage with art on an art level. It's just looking at things objectively designed.
Yeah, and just how does it make you feel?
Yeah, I'm like, I never even think about what might be going over my head at all.
I mean, it's hard.
Sometimes you don't
And
need
it is
to.
hard to.
I'm trying to build that muscle now as an adult, and it's very hard.
Explaining water to
Like
the
going to
fish.
an art museum is just like, oh, it looks cool.
I think that's a part of what I'd like to do with these kind of talks as well, because we can kind of talk about like the value of what we get out of things and how we get out of them, and just sharing our own methods and stuff kind of helps grow our uh, understanding and appreciation of all these different games, and it's a nice
Cultures.
little
Yeah,
community.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I embrace a lot of things that like I don't particularly enjoy, but at the end of the day, like Cyberpunk, Vex and a few others didn't think I would particularly enjoy it, but there was so much to get out of it. Like when you consider that the world building and the gun gameplay and the places that you go and see, it's like, again, it's not something that I would always, it's not my go-to type of game, but like being able to just pick something up and go against the grain, it's like almost walking uphill. Like by the end of that hike, you're like your legs are a bit stronger. You're looking at things
Yes.
differently because it's not that easy walk that you always take. You might be looking.
Yes, it is a muscle you need to work out too, because anything is going to be slightly challenging and uncomfortable if you are not exposed to it yet. It's just a matter of walking up that hill and
Yeah,
building those
aversion
muscles.
is a big thing that makes people want to stay away from stuff. But when I feel aversion with certain things, that kind of gravitates me towards it sometimes because I'm just like, what can I get out of this now? This is something I normally always skip. I've played Mega Man a million times. Again, I love it. It's my favorite
Yeah.
meal. But when I look at something and I immediately want to be like, nah, I don't know about that. That's when it hits you, because that's how I felt when Firefly posted this game originally. I was like, oh, like, yeah, I guess. Like, is it going to be one of those weird, like, indie games that don't amount to much? Or is it more style over substance? Is it just going to be, like, just kind of meh? But,
And we kind of have to go with these impressions sometimes because there is just not enough time to not make judgments. But like, I'm glad that we gave it the shot because it turned out to be what it is. My initial impression was almost the same as yours, but I think we have a similar outlook on engaging with new things in general. If it makes you uncomfortable, that means there's something to be gained. There is some kind of new viewpoint you can get. You can learn to be comfortable in the uncomfort.
embrace it. You want to be comfortable in being uncomfortable, like that. And that's a key to life. I feel like there's so many things that will pass you by if you're just, immediately throw away something that makes you feel uncomfortable. It's just like some of the best movie, in media literacy and just enjoying media, there's so many things like RPGs. I was playing them way too young. I couldn't read. I didn't understand north, south, east. I didn't understand basics. I didn't understand numbers. They made me so uncomfortable. But like they've become such a cornerstone of my life. Like I even remember like getting Sword of Vermilion at like 5 years old. I don't know why my dad bought it for me. And I remember being like 8 or 9.
God.
Right? But then I remember being like 8 or 9 and screaming down the stairs, being like, Dad, I found the treasure of Troy. Like that game grew with me. Like that game taught me how to play other games. That game taught me like that and Zelda. Like there was
It teaches you how to
Yeah.
teach yourself how to like
Yeah,
learn
Zelda
these
and
things, because
Mario.
there's so many games that are just their own creatures of that era. They didn't have a blueprint. They were their own thing that you had to study and become comfortable with their own mechanics. So it's like there were so many surprises and weird shit you had to just discover and brute force, and just it's a built comfort thing, like you said. You just have to force yourself to
yeah,
engage
and
with
now I
it.
don't think twice about it. And it's the same thing now. Like we've experienced so much, like all of us as whether it's music or movies or games, we've all played so much. So to have something that's like extremely novel and new and evoking these feelings,
It's increasingly
It
rare,
is,
honestly.
and that's why other than MMOs, anything that gives me that aversion feel, like I'm going for it. Like I'll
The MMO asterisk
Yeah,
is
don't
very
stuff that
funny.
doesn't steal your soul, made by Satan.
As
Yeah.
our like resident MMO player, I don't really do much of it now.
My
The guy who
roommate
grew up with it for like
is a
10
WoW
years,
player.
as like the 10-year MMO guy. While y'all are playing
I
like
got
good
out.
games, and I was playing shit games. I always love when
I
there's
spent
the
so
asterisk
many
next to like
years
we
on that.
respect every game except that one.
My
Not
roommate
like you're
only
right.
plays WoW. He plays classic WoW, and he plays now he only plays classic WoW. Ever since I met him, he's been playing WoW. So I've
It
known him
sucks
for
over
like
time.
16 years. Yeah.
I told
Yeah,
myself when I was a teenager I would never touch one. I never touched WoW, and I was so good. And then like 2016 rolled around, and
FF14.
someone was like, "You got to get into FF14. You got to try it." And I was like,
God.
I'll give it a whirl. I named my character a joke name. I named it
Aw.
Fat Dog. And
The
the
legacy
rest is
of
history.
Pig.
And now Fat Dog is Dionysus.
Heavy is the subscription that you wear in your head or something.
All right, so yeah, that's Judero. I hope we all support the game, whether it's on sale or
Yes,
if you want to buy it full
in any
price.
in
Yeah,
any
in any
way.
way too. Give this game a shout out to friends. Listen to the soundtrack. It got like 85 tracks on that Bandcamp. It's just
Just stare at some of the sound. Stare at some of the
that too.
screenshots. Just look at the game. I don't know. It's just a cool
Honestly,
thing.
that nun picture with the nun in the window and Judero, that could be
Uh,
framed. Like, I thought
for
about
real.
that
And I
earlier.
think whenever the conversation of games as art pops up, throw Judero in there. Let people kind of like really
Yeah.
ruminate on it if it strikes a chord with them, like if they want to pick it up after that list or whatever. But
Like I mentioned Pentiment earlier, and I think that this has parallels to that, where Pentiment is a very wordy and literal game while also indulging in the Renaissance art style of the Middle Ages. This entirely indulges in the visual aspect, and it's just I don't know. I'm left speechless by it. It's very
yeah,
impressive.
overall super impressed. So Judero, A+, put it on the shelf, put it in the heart.
Yep.
That's where it belongs. And
Yep.
yeah, let's start brainstorming our next visit into the video game
God.
book cave.